Yeah, we're gonna do this interview real quick.
Yo, what's up, what's up? It's Jake with DML, here with Mike Stott.
What's up, man?
Just doing a quick interview here at the Backstage Lincoln Hall in Chicago. First question, last time you were in Chicago, April 2012, you're here with Huey Mack, Reggie's Rock Club. You know, obviously you've gotten a lot bigger since then, you know, bigger venue, more fans, bigger albums, you know.
Right.
Other than that, what do you think has changed music-wise? Like, as who you are, kind of like how you approach making music?
I mean, I don't think my music was very good when I first started. I think I was very amateur and I just kind of started to get my feet wet with, you know, making the right kind of music, you know what I mean? So I think it's just getting better, you know, it's like a natural progression of anything. Like if you're an athlete, practice makes, you know, you get better.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years of being in the studio a lot more, that's technically practice. So, I mean, I credit it to that. I mean, I've dedicated it's my life now. So I think with all that put in, you know, all those factors, it only makes sense you get better, you know, so it's been working, man.
You know, I've been like listening to you for a while, man. You know, people like a lot of people they still label you as like a frat rapper, you know. Like, for those of you who don't know, like 2011, I think October around then, Toast to Tommy dropped his debut mixtape. I mean, a lot of that stuff, songs like College Humor, the first song you ever made, nonfiction stuff like that. Those are like a bunch of banger tracks. But now people like they don't give you the time of day to listen to new songs like Past Gone, even songs on that album like Happy Ending. So what do you think about when people label you like a frat rapper? How do you approach that? How do you approach getting people listening to new shit? Like,
well, I don't really approach it, man. Like, we just let it. You know, I think if people are really like fans of music, then they can get past the bias they have. You know, so I'm not really worried. Like, there's only so many people that heard me then anyway and hear me now. So like, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not concerned. It's who likes it. I mean, I think it's clear that people are starting to take to it. And I'm making music I want to make, man. Like, I'm not signed to a label on purpose, man. I'm trying to make records that I want to make and that my friends, you know, that we like. You know what I'm saying? So I've always, anyone who's called me a frat rapper from, you know, straight through, they just haven't listened to me. Because I've always done different shit. And people like now, you know, he's changed, but not really, man. Like, I've always kind of done meaningful stuff too. So
the only thing I've heard really, like, you've taken it more seriously is what I've kind of taken out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, you sound the same. Like, you're not one of those rappers who changes like his entire flow, his beats and stuff. Like, you've stayed true to yourself. From what I've seen, it's just like a casual fan.
Yeah.
I mean, you stay true to yourself, stay true to your music. It's just kind of been like the seriousness you take in it. Before, like, you were just messing around, and now it's like a serious thing.
Right. I mean, I just think it's, again, I think, you know, the flow and writing songs, I'm just getting better at it, you know. So like, if you listen from the beginning to now, it might sound a little bit different, but it is really me. Everything I write about is me. Like, I write all of my songs, so none of that has changed. It never will change. So
yeah, man. I mean, were you surprised at Relief debuting on Billboard the way it did? Like, Toast to Tommy was a free mixtape. It was also on iTunes. I got up to like number 2 or 4, right?
It got up to number 4 in hip. Number 2 in hip hop for like like half a day when it first came out, which was cool then.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised at how Relief just kind of took off? Like, Billboard charts, number 2 overall on iTunes, number 1 hip hop. Like,
I mean, I was really confident in the project, and I was confident in my fans that, like, I know I have a core fan base that's very supportive. So, you know, I was very eager to see what it did, but I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't know it was gonna do that well. You know, like, it's obviously really cool to do independently. So
definitely.
I'm proud of the fan base. I'm proud of the hard work we put in, but I'm proud of the fan base and watching the support. You know, it's really cool.
I mean, speaking of staying independent, do you think, like, you've kept a small team, John Kilmer, Blue, your friends from the beginning, man, you haven't taken too many people in. Do you think that, do you plan on eventually signing to a label, like a big label? Because, I mean, you know that eventually with the way you've taken off, it's got to happen eventually. I mean, I'm sure maybe offers have already poured in or are about to. Like, do you think that's the next step for you, or?
I think we can, I mean, it's obviously happening now, and I think we're in a position where it's not necessarily something we need to do. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm never going to sign, I don't want to do it, you know, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to jump on it. I'm not going to take an offer that's just okay, you know what I mean? So I'm not in any kind of rush, and when I do it, it's going to be on our terms and in a way that we can continue to do what we want to do, because we have a very cool way of getting music done and getting videos out immediately and staying relevant. So our formula is working. I'm not going to try to break it, you know what I mean? But we are getting to the stage where we have the next move to make. What that is, there's no real answer yet, you know?
Definitely. You know, I mean, those of you who follow you on Twitter, they know that you recently recorded a video for I'm Not Sorry. You're trying to push that once it drops as the lead single off Relief. What are your plans for that? Like, do you expect to get it on the radio, put like a Macklemore kind of thrift shop hype and go from there? Like, what are your plans for that song?
It's more or less what's kind of going on. You know, we have there's a lot of buzz in the industry behind the scenes about that record, particularly. We're just kind of seeing what the best route is, but there is a lot going on with that, and it looks like something is going to happen soon in July with that. So I'm just really excited about that. I knew the record was a standout. I'm just excited to see the fans take to it the way they have, and it's. I'm really excited to see what happens.
Didn't that get on the hip hop charts? Like, you weren't pushing as a single. Yeah. It didn't get on the single charts like right away.
Yeah, it was cool because we knew it was a single. We didn't say anything to the fans, so. And it was naturally selected by the fans, and it got up to top 40 in hip hop singles. So yeah, it's cool, man.
And then it's kind of like a general question. You've probably heard it before. Who do you think is the biggest influence in your music, and why did you pick them? Like, you're kind of a group of people you kind of look to the most to kind of be your main influence.
Dude, I never really have an answer to this question. I mean, because like, I just listen to what's going. Like, I don't really listen to other people now because I kind of like fell into music all out of nowhere. Okay. So it wasn't like I was growing up listening to someone like, yeah, I want to be, this is who I want to imitate, you know, this is who I want to be. So I think just the people of now, like I like all the hip hop that goes on now, not just hip hop, but pop music and all of that. I think I'm constantly like a sponge, you know, just kind of learning, even if it's subconsciously, I'm kind of learning the ropes through people who are doing it and having success.
You kind of see that in the Sunday Stud there, like every time, like you released a Started From the Bottom remix the day after and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business to us, man. Like, everyone thinks we're just kind of, you know, obviously we have an image of this, you know, these kids just running around partying and fucking girls, you know, it's not just that, you know, it's really not. Like, I take, like, we have a very hard-working group, you know what I mean? It's a very
hard-working.
But that was a move. Yeah. That's a move that I made. I heard the song. I knew it was going to be big.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I went to the studio instead of doing anything that night. We made the record and put it out 6 hours later. You know, so crazy.
I mean, everybody knows about your baseball career. Like, anybody who follows you, you know you have the tattoo right there. That's the date it happened, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows about that. High school accolades, baseball and basketball, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, college All-American and Duke, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could go back in time and change that, if you could go back, not have Tommy John, if you could stay healthy, go through college, get to the like, or at least pro baseball, I know it's easier said than done. It looked like you were destined to at least get drafted pretty high.
Yeah.
Would you change that, or are you like what you're doing enough now? Do you think that this is the route you were destined for? Like, what do you think you'd do if you could have that opportunity?
I mean, I can't say. I think this is what I was meant to do. You know what I mean? Like this, I enjoy this so much more. Yeah. You know, not just the having fun and the girls. Like, I enjoy the creative process, the business process, and connecting with fans and that type of shit. I mean, that shit doesn't really happen when you're good at sports.
That's true, yeah.
So if I had to pick, man, I don't know if I'd change anything, man. Like, the struggles of that have made me who I am now as an artist, so I wouldn't change really how anything went. I mean, obviously, it's crazy to think about. I probably would have never made a song in my whole life.
That's true.
If I didn't get hurt.
If you make college, you're just kind of fucking around, right? You're a college kid.
Really fucking around,
yeah. It turned into this, turned into a business, man.
Yeah.
And what can we expect in the future from you? Like, I know you've been talking, we've seen on your Twitter, your Instagram stuff, you've got tracks with French Montana, we've heard about tracks with Jake Miller maybe in the works. Yeah. Like, what can we expect with you? Like, what's going on with those? Are there any new projects? Like, what do you have planned next?
Yeah, well, you know, we relaunched the Sunday Stud Day stuff this summer. I just think it's a cool way to keep fans engaged. So there's no real project in the works right now besides doing those weekly. I'm on tour the whole summer.
Yeah.
We do have the French record. The French record is really cool too. I love the record. It's just my album came out, his album came out. We both have singles coming, so it's just not the right time to put out a record like that. So I'm gonna try to get it out, but definitely before the summer ends. But it's something that's gonna definitely come out. The Jake Miller one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the Jake Miller thing will happen. We're kind of He's a great kid. We just kind of, we made like a cool little record. It was real quick.
Okay.
And I don't know if it like makes sense for his lane, you know, like what he's doing and what I'm doing.
He's kind of taking more the pop route, like trying to.
Yeah,
it's like he's
got
going
a very, very young fan base, you know, and it's just not that the record is bad or, you know, like the record's cool. It's just I don't. If I had to guess, I would say it wouldn't come out. We might do something maybe that's a little bit more cohesive with what he's doing, what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out.
And then, like I said, I've been listening to you from basically the beginning, man. I remember on Twitter, like a couple of years back, probably it was like 2011 or early 2012. You were talking about this track, "Cold Drinks," and like I remember that track, it kind of like never came out. And I never knew like what ended up happening with that.
Still in the arsenal, man. It's just it's a record like that didn't come out originally because there was complications over who made the beat.
Okay.
And then people were claiming they made the beat that wanted credit, and and there was just confusion.
Yeah.
And to me, like the record just kind of grew out of favor in my eyes. Like I don't really. It's kind of ratchet, like it's just not really like that's something I'm like dying to put out. You know what I mean? It might be something that comes out, or maybe I recut it, redo it because my flow is so different then. So
just kind of like one of those things that you could have seen on Toast to Tommy rather than Relief. Like,
exactly.
It was more of a track for back then. And then throughout your career, kind of goes along with that. I remember you had that whole MSOCB label thing. You had other complications with your other manager when you took 10K and left, like you said in one of your songs. Like, are you happy where you are now? You've kind of been keeping it independent. People who follow your Instagram, I know you've been kind of talking to more people, listen to your words, like listen to your lyrics. You've said stuff about Universal. Like, I know you've been talking about different manager, but you basically kept it in your inner circle for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry, I've been drinking, I've been smoking, I'm not thinking about tomorrow, past the bottle, I'm in trouble, okay I know, but I'm not sorry, no I'm not sorry, I said I'm not sorry, no I'm not sorry.